Hey everyone, this is Neil here with Wasted Paper, bringing you another fountain pen review. This time we're looking at a pen from Platinum, and it's actually a new model that I've been looking forward to checking out since they kind of announced it. I actually looked back at my video history. I have tried Platinum pens before, but I've never reviewed one on the channel. So this is actually the first Platinum pen I've reviewed, and it's going to be a new model that just came out. So let's get straight into it. Starting off with the box, you just have a black oversleeve on the top here. On the side, it tells you what I have, which is the Bisso, their new model. I have it in the limited edition Sparkle Mint Green colorway and with a medium nib. Underneath that, you just have a traditional black box here. Again, it says Platinum Japan 1919. Under there, we have our pen, and we have an ink cartridge, which I think is blue. It looks like it would be. Your instruction manual and your warranty. So I already said the name, but this is the Bisso. This is a new model they just came out with. The name Bisso stands for Beauty and Harmony. I believe it's translated from the BI part and then the SO part. The whole name's capital. I don't know Japanese perfectly, so don't quote me on that, but I do know that's the proper translation for it. And straight out the gate, the thing I'm noticing right away that I could not tell in pictures is actually that the body is a bit translucent. I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of see the threads right here underneath. You can see like a little bit of the inner workings of the pen. It really looked like this was a solid color pen in the pictures I saw. So seeing that is a nice little change. It would explain why this colorway is called Sparkle Mint Green.
That does make sense.
Beyond that, I mean, the material looks nice. I'm a big fan of green right now, so this looks really good. Starting off with the top, you have a flat rounded finial up here with a pretty instant edge on it, which is fine. I don't think you're gonna have any issues there. Under that, you have their clip, which is pretty easy to actuate. It's actually easy to get under too. It's fairly thin, so that kind of plays a hand in it. Clip overall is pretty nice. Down from there, you have the cap band, which on this one, it says Bisso Platinum Made in Japan. And then you have this metal ring right here, which I believe, yeah, is where the cap ends and meets the body. And then more of the material with another identical finial at the end. I believe the back one's just slightly smaller than this one because of the subtle taper here. One thing that interested me about this pen, besides it being new, is a pull cap. I really think push and pull caps are underappreciated. I like seeing them and seeing a new pen with it. I was definitely looking forward to seeing that. Inside of the cap, it does look like we have a plastic liner in here, which is nice. I don't remember if the Platinum 3776 has the spring cap in it. I think it does. Don't quote me again, but I think it does. This one does not. It looks like it just has it in there, but again, friction fit gives you a nice click and a nice seal. As for the grip, you have a really sizable grip here. The diameter of the grip is a bit smaller. I wouldn't say it's as small as the Kaweco, but it is a bit smaller, so that's something to keep in mind. It's got a subtle taper from the back to the front. You definitely don't feel it much, but it is there. And then there's actually, it's a little hard to showcase. I think you can see it. There is a slight bump out here at the end on the metal trim right before you get to the nib, again, to keep you off of it. But it's very subtle, a little hard to see, but you definitely feel the indent in the metal. And then something completely different here is we have a steel nib from Platinum. People say it looks like the Platinum Preppy nib. This is a different one. I've used a Preppy before and the nib is not the same as this. It is similar, but it is different. And then something a little different here is the feed on the back is a plastic feed, but the feed itself is translucent. Right at the end there, you can kind of see how it gets dark and has that gradient forward. You don't really look at the bottom of your pen too much, but it's a nice little touch straight out the box. I like how that looks, to be honest with you. But I am curious if that's going to change colors to the color of the ink. Also, this nib, especially with these like fins on the back here, reminds me a lot of like the Lamy Safari nib. They tend to do that with those little fins on the side there. Under the Platinum logo, also, I have a medium, so you'll see an M right there. For those curious if the pen posts, yes, seems like it does just fine. It's actually a really deep post too, which I like. Let's see here. If you're not holding the pen right at the metal grip, the cap is actually in the perfect spot to be posted. So that's pretty nice. It's a very lightweight pen. I'll tell you that straight out of the gate. This pen, I can't imagine weighs much more than a Kaweco, to be honest with you. There's a very similar weight here. So whether or not the pen posted a little bit farther back for you, I don't think you notice it with a pen this light. On the inside of the pen, it does look like we have metal threads, and then it's straight into the resin or acrylic on there. And this does not come with a converter, sadly.
I'm not crying.
I do already have one, thankfully. If you're not familiar with Platinum's converters, they are proprietary, so you cannot use other ones. You have to use their branded ones. I have this one from when I used to have other Platinum pens. The ink I'm going to be going with is Green Green from Robert Oster. I got this ink a while back, and I'm pretty sure I even did a video when I first got it. That being said, I haven't used it too much because I have my favorite green. It's nice to change it up a little bit. And for those curious like I was, it does look like there's a bit of green now in that holographic end there. So it did change colors to match the ink. As for my writing sample, we're going to be going with my B7 Tranext notebook from the Paper Mine. I love this paper. I talk about it all the time. And then I have my leather cover from Long Road Leather. Both of these are fantastic. Check them out in the description down below. When it comes to the writing, the thing I'm going to point out that you notice right away is there is a bit of friction. It's not the same as like sailor friction, but you definitely feel that where it's just kind of holding onto the paper a little bit more. Not in a bad way. It's an experience that I would normally compare to like an extra fine Yovo nib or something, where you get that kind of just, I don't want to use the word resistance, but friction is really the best word I can say. It definitely has that. And if you get this pen and you don't like the finer side of things, like you don't like extra fine or that kind of toothiness, don't go with a fine. I went with a medium, and I did that immediately because I expected it to be a bit more fine. And this is a really fine writer. Here it doesn't totally look like it, but this paper that I use really expands your writing. Here's like a side-by-side. So this is Clairefontaine paper that writes really consistent to your nib size. This paper really generally shows inks really well and makes your writing a little bit more bold, but you can see how much smaller the lettering is here and how much more fine it is. So keep that in mind. This will write very fine. Beyond the slight bit of toothiness though, I didn't have any issues. The feed kept up just fine. As for flex, I mean, I'm laying down more ink, but you're really not seeing much. The intent to push down like this really isn't going to be the way. There's a lot more ink, but I wouldn't expect to be getting variation with this. It does write under its own weight, even though it's super light. That just means it has a really good feed. And I pointed this out earlier, but the feed getting that slight tint of color underneath it is just, I like that. I think it looks really nice. When it comes to size comparison, we have my Lamy Safari and my go-to Pilot Custom A23. When these are all side by side, the Bisso is the smallest one here, and it kind of feels like that. In hand, since it's so lightweight, it just plays into it more to be a more slim pen like this. If you like slim pens, you're going to be happy with this size. Unposted, it keeps that same smaller dimension. It is still the smallest one here. And if you've been watching so far, it should come as no surprise, it is still the smallest one here. When it comes to the price of the Bisso from Platinum, there's two special edition colorways. The green one I have here, and then they have a Mystic Purple, which I think looks very nice too. Both of those start at $160 USD. Those are limited edition colorways. They only made 1,500 of each of those colors, so if you want the special colorway, you should jump on that now. They have two standard colorways, which are Nebula Black and then Flame Red. Those two colors also retail for $160 USD, but at the time of filming this, those two colors are on sale at Endless Pen's website for $128 USD, and my affiliate code works on both of these, so you can save an additional 10%. After using this, my thoughts for this pen are overall pretty good. If you like a smaller pen, a lighter weight pen, something that's kind of, you know, a little bit more narrow, a little bit more slim, I think this is going to fit you great. Say you want to step up from the Platinum Preppy and like you just really like the Platinum Preppy and the brand Platinum. I think this is a really good direction to go. I would stick with one of the cheaper colorways just because save the extra. But I think this green and that purple look stellar. They probably are the better colorways, so I get why they made those limited. The only cons I would really have here, I would say, is probably just going to be that it doesn't come with a converter. It is over $100 for this pen, even with discounts. So not having a converter in this day and age kind of sucks. There's not a lot of brands that don't give you one. So Platinum's a little behind on the times there. Other than that, I mean, I don't mind the narrowness and the weight of this, but that is something to consider if you are a person that really has big hands or they don't like that smaller grip. It's not so small that you're pinching, but something as small as this is, then it really won't fit you and it's not gonna be something you would even grow to like. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this pen. I like seeing new models, I like new things coming out, and I'm gonna rattle myself a little bit here. I've never used a Platinum 3776. I know, it's tragic. I promise you, I'm gonna get one. I have only ever used their Still nibs and they do compare to this very well. They are very similar. This one's a little bit thicker. I find that the Platinum Preppy nibs are kind of flimsy. It's clearly because they're thinner. So this one has a little bit more of that thickness that you're used to with a traditional nib. Less likely that you're gonna apply too much pressure to break it. Obviously don't try to do that, but less likely to do it. And then my final note is really the price point. Nowadays, anytime a pen comes out, they're always $200 or more. I get this is an expensive hobby made for people with money, but that's a lot of money and it's not something to take lightly. So seeing something new in the market with, you know, limited edition colorways and some standard ones at prices closer to 100, I think that's just really commendable and I really like that. All that being said, if you want to check out this pen, I will have links in the description down below with my discount code to save you a little bit of money and help my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching. When it comes to the price of the Miso from Platinum, Miso, it's a Biso,